road. Not sure where to yet. I think I might go out to 47 and then go north. So maybe Lake Geneva. Hear a motorcycle. Maybe it's behind the truck behind me. Oh, they pulled out of there. It's like I hear it. Where's it at? You can't really hear mine. Which, good and a bad thing, I guess. Bunch of bikers. More windy than I thought it'd be today. But the weather said almost no wind. It's been off all spring so far. Been a very windy start to the summer. I guess it's good. I got this bigger, heavier scooter now. Handles the wind pretty well, but there's still just an annoyance factor. But I can't let that stuff stop me. I'll take 31. I don't remember what it's called. The one along the Fox River. Slower. I guess it depends on how much cars are on the road. I don't want to be in constant stop and go, but it's a little bit better being on a scooter. It was really annoying the one time that I rented a Harley Street Bob, I think it was. I took that way and it was just I was constantly shifting. Really annoying. So loud in the helmet. I need to get a windshield extension for this. Keep this air off of my helmet so it's like quieter. I find myself a little more hunched down on this motorcycle than on my SH150. That's why I'm really curious about the SH300, because the SH150 has probably the best ergonomics that I've been on a motorcycle. For me personally, because my arms aren't way out in front. I'm not impinging my shoulder, getting shoulder impingement. That ain't cool. I think pretty much every other riding position, there's some kind of website that has visual images of the rider position on all these different models of motorcycle and scooter, and I don't think I found one that has a better arm position than the SH150, but it's just it just doesn't, you have to pretty much max out the engine revs if you want to ride at, you know, what are considered normal speeds on rural roads. I don't really like riding open throttle the whole time. Seems like it's probably not good for the engine if you're doing it for really long periods of time. These scooter transmissions are probably not built to be ridden that way. And the bike itself, just, they're only designed for a certain max speed, and then I feel like the frame starts getting kind of jittery and wobbly and that kind of stuff. It also gets blown around very easily by the wind because the SH is so small and light. It's a nice bike though. It's good for certain things. It's really good for certain things. Scooting around town, great. I've been pretty pleased with this though. I'm just really limited on bikes because of my height, because I don't want one that I have to tippy toe. I know some people say that's not a big deal, I shouldn't worry about it, but I don't want, I guess it depends on how much you're starting and stopping, but if you start and stop a lot, it starts to become a problem because then you're holding your calf muscle in a tense position a lot, and you can get like cramps in your calf, and you just don't want muscle cramps when you're riding a motorcycle. It doesn't matter if you're doing it at high or low speed or big or small bike or whatever. Muscle cramps and motorcycles, not a good combination. It's better if you can just rest your feet flatly on the ground when you're stopped. But again, I guess it depends on if you're doing a lot of like if I go out on 47 today, then there won't be a lot of starting and stopping. But if I take whatever it is, I want to say 31, I don't remember if that's the highway or not. Which I'm kind of considering just because it's a little windier than I thought it was going to be. And I don't know, I would just like a slightly quieter ride in my helmet. And I like driving through small towns. Decisions. Of course, I'm going to wait until the very last moment to make that decision. Like I'll tell myself I'm going to take 31 or whatever it is, and then I'll have a panic at the last moment. I'll get FOMO. But I think that hot days, really hot days, are the better day to go out further. And it's not hot today. So maybe I will take this way. Actually, you know what? That's what I'm doing. I've decided. I'm going to go along the Fox River. Turn right at Dundee, or West Dundee, I don't know what it is. Instead of the listen to Chris be indecisive audio, this is the listen to Chris make decisions and be affirmative. This is not the one I want, 25. I have taken this before. But I'm going to go out further. I don't think I've taken this north. I don't know where it goes north. Adventure for another day. Find out where that goes north. I think it's still the church hour, so should be maybe less cars on the road right now, unless they're going to church. Well, I don't drive by any churches. They'll have the traffic cop out front. The thing about this bike though is it seems like it has been designed around 70 miles an hour. Like the entire design of it was designed around that speed. It doesn't like to go slow. It likes to shoot up to 70. And then it seems like it doesn't really like going much above 70. But 70, I mean, it can, obviously. But it just feels, something feels really right when you're going 70. Like 65 to 70. I mean, 60 feels fine. A lot of the times people speed, especially on like nice weekends or holiday weekends or whatever. People from the city are driving out into the countryside, and people from the city are used to speeding. They don't know that cops actually pull you over for going 10 over once you leave the metro area. There has been a couple times on this bike where the seat has rattled my ass. When I was going maybe around 70, I think, 65 or 70. But I know that one of the times it was because the seat wasn't clamped all the way. And so I wonder if the second time that I noticed it was also that. I don't think I checked the second time. I've done a few longer rides and haven't had any issues. Or maybe it's like where maybe how far back I am, and because I can feel some vibration right now in the backrest. I don't feel it in the seat so much, but I do feel it a little bit in the backrest. So I wonder if maybe I was pushing myself back further against the backrest. I don't know. Yeah, see, wind isn't too bad. I can hear myself think. Yeah, it's a good day for this highway. And then I'll just drive through all these towns. Maybe grab some grub. I have something hard in the top box rattling around a little bit. It's hard to say how this bike takes bumps relative to other bikes. It certainly takes them better than my SH 150, but it's been a while. It's been several years since I had my Harley, and I don't really remember how that rode. I can't really remember how smooth or bad it was. I mean, I do remember that, like, there was obviously points where it would kind of throw you out of the seat a little bit, even on the Harley. You know, if you were going over like a really bad railroad track, stuff like that. But this one, I can't remember on the Harley though if it did that on just these regular, because a lot of these roads in Illinois are kind of have these lumps in them. These really annoying lumps, especially if it's an older highway. It kind of seems like there was a bunch of highways built around the same time that I don't know if the guys that were laying them were doing something wrong or what, but it kind of seems like a design flaw because they'll have these lumps in them that you hit like every second and a half, like in a consistent way that seems like it was some kind of error when they laid it versus some natural occurrence like tree roots or frost heave or something. I mean, I'm sure it's frost heave related, but I mean, I'm guessing that there's certain things that you do or don't do or do a certain way or another way when you're laying it that maybe makes frost heave more or less of an issue. But to have it all as consistent like that, and it's like certain roads, it's not every road, it's just certain roads, and it seems like they're all a little bit older. Not the oldest I've seen, but like a little older. Maybe like they were all laid around the same time, but this one seems alright. This one's probably been redone somewhat recently. Anyway, those annoying bumps, they will kind of toss you out of this, toss your butt out of the seat just a little bit, but also I'm really light, so maybe it happens more to me. Maybe a heavier person, it wouldn't. I've had a passenger on the bike before, and it actually felt less bumpy, so maybe it's just that the suspension is built for a heavier person. I mean, I think that most riders, I think the typical height is, the average height of riders in America anyway, is taller than me. And typically if you're taller, that means you're heavier. You'd have to be pretty thin to be taller than me and lighter than me. I think that would be like maybe unhealthy levels of thinness. It's funny though, because it seems like that's what all this clothing that gets sold here seems to be targeted at, is these strange 6.5 foot super skinny tube people. People who are like taller than me but thinner than me. I'm like, who? Like, has anybody actually measured what people are like? Because it doesn't seem like it when you're shopping for clothing. Like, it just doesn't fit. Who does it fit? That's what I'm wondering. Who actually goes to the store and is like, oh yeah, these pants and this shirt fit perfectly all the time, all the stores. Is anybody getting that experience? I actually don't remember this part of the roadway. I thought that it was lower speed limit most of the way. Maybe not. Oh, well, I guess everyone's just speeding. should probably rent a Harley at some point this summer so that I can have like a back-to-back comparison to the scooter. Just because I'm curious. Well, I guess the conditions would have to be similar to have like kind of a good experiment. But I'm curious about crosswinds in particular. And like, because a motorcycle has that kind of open engine area where air could potentially flow around the engine, in between the frame and the engine, sort of wind its way through there. But then, and so in this thing, you know, the engine is all enclosed in plastic panels, and the plastic panels obviously don't let air through them. But there is this kind of area here between my legs that dips down because of this, what do they call it, unibody design or whatever that the scooters have. And so I wonder if that, you know, I wonder which one would be better for crosswinds, I guess. I don't like crosswinds. Gusty crosswinds. I don't think anybody likes them. I've had a lot of them so far this year. Seems like. Last year the air was really still in comparison. Still and stagnant. I guess good for riding as far as wind goes, but it's also really hot and humid. It's really hot and humid and stagnant last year, so I guess somewhat good for riding in one way, but then bad for riding in another because you don't want to overheat. I actually got a lighter jacket last year because of that. Yeah, see, I'm going 65 right now, and it just feels great on this bike. That's like 65, 70 is definitely ideal speed for this. Got a lot of, what is it, flickability, I think is what I've heard people call it, where I think it's because of the low center of gravity that you can kind of whip it left and, you know, you kind of whip the top of the bike left and right real quick. I don't know if some people maybe don't like that or neutral to it, or, you know, pros and cons or whatever. I don't know, like, it seems like it's safer to have a low center of gravity like this, but being able to flick the top of it so easily is also a little, I don't know, it's just a different feel. Like, I guess if you had a bike with a higher center of gravity, but you still had that flickability, like that could feel dangerous, but I guess because the flicking doesn't have as much leverage, you know, in the effect of it or something like that. I don't know. I'm not an expert on these things.